Sets of mother-daughter. First, Tracy and Simone, good to see you here. And of course, Jackie and Jay. I don't expect to see sets of you here, but it's my pleasure to see you. And when we talk about Bible stories, when you were a child, what Bible stories held your attention the most? Joseph, okay, Joseph. Moses and the Red Sea, okay? David and the lion, Joshua and the Battle of Jericho. And of course, Jonah. Gideon and the 300. Oh, that is an exciting story, right? Well, last July was the most beautiful month for me, as all my children and grandchildren flew over here to be together to celebrate my milestone birthday. I'm not going to tell you which one. Milestone birthday. It must be important, otherwise they wouldn't come. So we were together. And when we were together for about 10 days, the best time of the day was family worship, especially the evening worship. So I hope today you'll not mind that this sermon will be like my family worship last July, okay? So the story that I told my grandchildren, my wife and I told the grandchildren many Bible stories, and we had fun in the evening before prayer and before sleeping. And one of the stories we told was this one. Okay. About 2,800 years ago, in a faraway land called Israel, there lived a man named Jonah. He was a prophet. One day, he heard God calling him. My God in heaven? Yes, Jonah, it's me. God gave Jonah an urgent assignment. Go to the biggest and most powerful city in the world. God wanted him to tell them to change their evil ways. And if they don't change, their city would be destroyed. Jonah couldn't believe what God had asked him to do. He paced back and forth, troubled. The more he disliked it. The people of Nineveh were cruel. They are cruel. Extremely cruel. And they are our enemies. Why should I? For he had reached no way. So he took his rucksack, or his backpack, as we call it here, and he packed his backpack. And he was, oh, family, can you all come here? We'll have a quick family meeting. And from the kitchen came a voice, now? Yes, right. And the wife came with her apron, wiped her hands on the apron and said, what's this about? And the children came running. Well, I have news for you, but it is not too good. And the children's face and voice, Jonah said, I have to go on a long journey. And Mrs. Jonah was visibly upset. When did this decision come about? A few minutes ago. Fire came out of Mrs. Jonah's mouth. Did you hear that, children? A few minutes ago, your father decided to leave us. Oh, no, dear. I'm not planning to leave you. You know I love you very much, don't you? The children nodded, but the wife, of course, was not too sure. You see, a few minutes ago, God talked to me. And the children were excited. God talked with you, Dad? Yes, dear, he did. And he talked to you right here? Yes, dear. He talked to me right here in our room.
Say what you say.
What did he say, Dad? Asked the son.
Say what.
Well, he said that he had chosen me to deliver his message. Deliver to who? The daughter asked. To the people of Nineveh. This shocked Mrs. Jonah. That's so far. You'll be away for a year. And she sighed. No, dear, not a year. 2 months max. And how will you go there, Dad? The son queried. Maybe on a camel, but mostly on foot. How far is the city, Dad? The daughter wanted to know. 800 km, dear. And in Hong Kong fashion, the two children said, wow. Yes, that's a long way, said Jonah. So I must start now. Jonah picked up his backpack, bade the family farewell, and started walking away. Bye, Dad. See you soon, shouted the children. But Jonah was planning on a long absence. No walking on the desert sand. No saving dangerous people. I will not go to Nineveh. I will go in the opposite direction. So Jonah walked, not this way, he walked to the port area of Joppa. He saw some people over there, some sailors, and the ship. Hi there! Where are you going? Where's your ship bound? And somebody said, to Spain. Which city in Spain? Tarshish. Perfect, said Jonah. I will sail with you. Here is my payment. The captain looked at the gold coin. Okay, get on board. Get on board. Jonah was running as far away from God as possible. And he felt pretty good about it. He made himself comfortable in his cabin, closed his eyes, and slept. The ship sailed smoothly, and everything was normal. This is really nice, said one sailor. Yeah, said another. Let's relax. But in the middle of the night, the Lord set out a great wind. The ship rocked back and forth. The sky turned black, and huge waves hit the ship. The sailors worked hard to steady the vessel. It was tossed up and down, pushed from side to side. And the captain said, "Men, work and pray. Pray to your gods." And so the men started praying, rowing the boat and praying. "Oh, Baal, Lord of the universe, keep us safe. Oh, Gong Gong, God of the East, help us. Oh, Ao Guang, the king of dragons, save us now. Oh, Asharte, beautiful queen of heaven, lead us to land. Oh, mighty Yam, God of the sea, please calm down the storm." But all the prayers had absolutely no effect. During this time, Jonah slept peacefully. Lightning flashed, and the captain saw Jonah. "Hey, wake up! Why are you not praying to your God? We all are praying to whatever God we believe in. Why aren't you praying?" Jonah was disinterested. "We need to find who is the reason for this," said the captain. So he arranged some straws, closed his hand, and Jonah picked the short straw. You, all men, shouted, "It's you! What evil have you done?"
Meron naman siya dalang
It seems like Devil's Coming doesn't want me to deliver the sermon. What is your work? Where did you come from? Hurry up! What evil are you bringing upon us? And in Jonah chapter 1 verse 9, he started talking. Jonah 1:9. I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land. So, what shall we do now? The men asked him. Throw me into the sea, and everything will be calm for you. No, we cannot throw you into the sea. That's not right, said the men. Yes, we will never do that. No, said the captain, we cannot throw you down to die. That's not right. Agree, said all the sailors. And the captain said, men, let's work harder. So they started working harder. When we get to land, then we let this man go. The sailors worked and worked, but their ship was about to break. Finally, the crew decided to take Jonah at his words. So they took him to the edge, and the captain said, Jonah 1:14. Jonah 1:14. Then they cried to the Lord, "O Lord, please do not let us die for taking this man's life. Do not hold us accountable for killing an innocent man, for you, O Lord, has done as you pleased." Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. Into the salty water of the Mediterranean he went down, and straight into the open mouth of the Leviathan. What fish do you think was big enough to swallow Jonah whole? The book of Job names Leviathan, but whatever that is, it must be a whale, right? So what whale species are in the Mediterranean? So let's see. So, whale species in the Mediterranean. There's the fin whale, and there's the sperm whale. These are big whale species in the Mediterranean Sea. All right? The humpback whale can be 50 feet long and weigh up to 36 tons. But it is not natural for whales to swallow humans. They don't. Now, okay. All right. Let me tell you a story. Michael Packard, in 2021, he's a lobster diver off Cape Cod. Some of you are from New Jersey, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So what happened to him? He was swallowed by a whale. And then after swallowing him, after 30 or 40 seconds, the whale realized that's not food. And the whale, spat him out. But he was still injured, and he was taken to hospital, all right? Now, here you have Adrian Simancas, 2025. Oh, just last year. He was 24 years old. He is 56 years old. He's 24 years old. he was canoeing with his father off the coast of Chile, South America. The father was in another canoe and he was filming his son. And what happened? A whale came and swallowed Adrian. Swallowed Adrian. But then again, it's not natural for a whale to swallow people. And so after a few seconds, the whale and threw Adrian out. And Adrian was not injured. He was injured, had to be in the hospital. He was not injured. He was there for about 40 seconds. He was there for about 10 seconds. So it was swallowed by a whale. All right? So whales don't like swallowing people. It's not food for them. They know, this is alien. And they spat them out. But not for Jonah. Jonah, he went down, 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 down into the belly of the whale. So, like I said, this is what I did with my grandchildren last year. So let us sing together, shall we? Let's sing. Do you know this? I think I want to go back. Oh, no? Oh, can you? I'm sorry, I put it back on. I want us to sing a song that I sang with my grandchildren. Okay? Yes. Okay, you know the song? You know, okay. But there are two words that my wife and I changed. Okay? So we'll just follow this. Who did, who did, who did, who? You know the song, right? Okay, that's the key. Who did? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Who did, who did, who did, who did, who did swallow Jonah? Who did, who did, who did, who did, who did swallow Jonah? Who did, who did, who did, who did swallow Jonah? Who did swallow Jonah? Oh, whale did, whale did, whale did, whale did, whale did swallow Jonah. Whale did, whale did, whale did, whale did, whale did swallow Jonah. Whale did, whale did, whale did, whale did, whale did swallow Jonah. Whale did swallow Jonah. Oh. Okay, this is a children's song. The giant fish swam with a mouth open to get food. And I just saw a documentary, the David Attenborough documentary, that in many places actually they just open their mouths like that, and the fish jump, and then they swallow. Okay? So, but what else enters when a big whale opens his mouth and the small fish jump in? What else enters? Water. Water enters in too, and a lot of it. A lot of water goes in. So what does it do? It takes water and all the fish, and then comes the time that it spits out all the water. So there's a movement, just like a waterfall coming out of the whale, and it keeps the fish inside. So, every 60 to 90 minutes, the fish comes up, the whale comes up to the surface to breathe. Do you think that Jonah had a seatbelt inside the belly of the whale? And so can you imagine, he was moving like from there to there to there. Was it comfortable? You know, sometimes we think that Jonah was sitting like this in the belly of the whale. No, he couldn't. He's just, every time the fish breathed, he was just, every time the water, he swallows a bit of fish, there's a huge amount of water. The water carried Jonah there and back here and back. Oh, it's a horrible, horrible experience for Jonah. Oh, we wish he had a seatbelt. There was no seatbelt there. He was very uncomfortable in the belly of the great fish, but he was kept safe. He was kept safe. He was kept safe. By the way, we realize that Jonah was in a very precarious situation. So, what What did Jonah do? 3 days and 3 nights he was there. 3 days and 3 nights he was there. He was praying. He was praying. He was praying. And finally, he said, God, I know you are God. I know you're God. And I am willing to go where you want me to go. I'm willing to go where you want me to go. And so what did God do to the whale? God made the wheel take a U-turn. Take a U-turn. Back to the land. And when he got that mouth, you know, fish smell. You know, fish smell. Right? You imagine being his everything was stinking. And so probably he washed himself there by the coast. And God came again. Chapter 3. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim the message I give you. Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord. Go and proclaim the word of the Lord. In the belly of the whale, Jonah had a change of heart, a change of attitude. In the darkness, in helplessness and loneliness, he had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to reflect, and he was able to be still. You know, David, the psalm says, be still and know that I am God. And in that stillness, in the darkness of the belly of the whale, Jonah called on God. And God was there, and he heard Jonah. Jonah realized the mistake of his thinking and action. He confessed his sin. But most of all, his prayer was not of complaint, of crying, of presenting a list of things that God should do for him. Of course, he told God of his poor condition. If you look at chapter 2, verse 2, it says, in my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the depths of the grave I called for help, and you listened to my cry. So down there in the depths of the Mediterranean Sea, in the belly of the whale, God still heard his, because that was God's plan. That was God's plan for Jonah. Yet Jonah had plenty of time to reflect. 3 days and 3 nights in darkness, in helplessness and loneliness. Sometimes when we find ourselves in times of helplessness and loneliness and darkness, not physical darkness, but darkness of the heart. And sometimes we have somebody who, just like Job's wife, some friends will come to us and say, you're in so much trouble, just curse God and die. He was there. He was there in that situation, and he called on God. He called on God. God gave him enough time to reflect. God gave him enough time to reflect. So Jonah was able to be still. He was not still physically because, when the whale breathed, he would be tossed up, and when the water comes in, he would, wow, like in a waterfall. But in his heart, he was able to be still. Be still and know that I am God, Psalm 46:10. And when he called on the Lord heard him. The Lord heard him. Now, let's read chapter 2, verse 5, just to explain a little bit of his experience. The engulfing waters threatened me. Every time this whale took some fish, it took with a huge amount of water. The water went, can you imagine? So every time he felt that he was going to die in the belly of the whale, but God was taking care of him. But Jonah, the man, said, the engulfing waters threatened me. The deep surrounded me. Even though he was in the belly of the whale, He was in deep water, literally, very deep water. Seaweed was wrapped around me. We eat seaweed, but in tiny squares. But can you imagine natural seaweed covering? What a difficult situation that was. And being banged up one side of the belly of the whale, and then the next moment you're banged up there. A very difficult situation, but Jonah found peace at last. Found peace at last. Verse 5, the engulfing waters threatened me. Seaweed was wrapped around my neck. Can you imagine seaweed being wrapped around our neck? But all the time, God was watching, caring him, because that was God's plan. Because God cared for 120,000 people in Nineveh. But more than them, or equally important, was the one man called his prophet, whose heart was not with God. So yes, God wanted to save 120,000 people. But God also wanted to save his servant. And 3 days in the belly of the whale. Ellen White said, it's on the wings of praise. God is worshipped with songs and music. In the courts above, as we express our gratitude, we are approximating to the worship of the heavenly host. Gratitude. Finally, Jonah, in the darkness, in the discomfort, that he realized that God had a plan for him. And God made the whale turn right round, U-turn, and spat him out. My dear brothers and sisters, Ellen White says, the soul may ascend nearer heaven on the wings of praise. God is worshipped with song and music in the courts above. And as we express our gratitude, we are approximating to the worship of the heavenly hosts. Jonah was so grateful to be out. And where do you think he was going? Did he ask God to go home first? No, he was going on the journey that God wanted him to go. Jonah prayed. And prayer turned everything around. Satan hates, Max Lucado says, Satan hates to see you pray. He does not scatter when you listen to a sermon. Satan might be here. Satan does not scatter. He doesn't hurry out when you listen to a sermon. Demons do not backpedal when you perform acts of benevolence. The principalities of hell are not flustered when you open a Christian book. But the walls of hell shake when, with an honest heart and faithful confession, you bow your head and pray. Satan knows the power of prayer. When Jonah learned to pray down there in the belly of the whale, in the dark, he knew he could easily be digested by the stomach of the whale. And he knew that it was God that was keeping him there. And he knew the reason, that he was running away from God. My dear brothers and sisters, do you long for peace? Then pray. Prayer is essential in this ongoing warfare. Pray hard and long. You cannot control Ninevites. They were saved for over 100 years. And later they went right round and God had no other way. Jonah, God saw his heart, always going against him. literally and figuratively, always going against God. But God was not through with him yet. Is God through with me? No. Is God through with you? No. No. My brothers, my sisters, this is the message. God is not done with me. There's a song that says, it took him just a week to make the moon and stars, the sun and the earth and Jupiter and Mars. But it takes him decades to get me. How long will it take for God to get you? I hope this is the day. I hope this is the day that we will turn right around like Jonah and say, God, you have me. You have me. My brothers, my sisters, Jonah prayed. Jonah prayed. And I love this from the poet laureate a long time ago, Lord Tennyson. More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. More things are wrought by prayer. I've lived long enough, Pastor Phil, I've lived long enough to know that this is absolutely true. More things are wrought by prayer than by any of our own thinking, any of our plans, any of our own expertise, any of our theories. More things are wrought by prayer than you can dream of. My brothers and my sisters, this is the story of Jonah. God never gave up